your name on it. Just put your name on it. That's all I say. Be a man or woman. Put your name on it.
Well, I'd like to hear about it, potheads.
How the fuck you gonna know how to be great if you don't study greatness? Look at the game tape.
Donuts.
If you wanna battle with either that you will or you won't.
You know, you're not a bad-looking man, Mr. Gals.
But you are, Blanche. You are in that chair.
There's something wrong with us. Something very, very wrong with us.
Hey, man!
We were trying to get Joe DeRosa. He was a no-show, so we got the next best thing. Colin, what's your middle name, Colin?
Edward.
Colin Edward Quinn.
Yeah.
I think I asked you that last time we were here.
You too?
Colin Quinn. Billy Hayes watching the festivities. Matty Boy, of course, and the Wheels of Steel.
Yes, sir.
Colin is a little upset because there isn't tea for him in my hotel room in New York City. I'm sorry, there's no tea.
Well, we're in the St. Regis. I'm sure they have afternoon tea.
Now they're all going to be in the lobby waiting for us.
I get downstairs to the lobby. I get a tea bag in 5 minutes.
Well, you
from
know
some
what?
old dowager. I'll go down there. I'll get an old dowager. I'll charm the pants off her. And that's a horrible image, but I'll get the tea bag. And I'll probably get a scone, too, to boot.
What's a dowager?
Like an old rich lady.
A dowager?
Yeah, dowager. D-A-D-O. Anyway, an old dowager.
How do you know that word?
One of those old rich ladies that sits in the lobbies at this hotels like this and have afternoon tea.
Oh, like Elaine Stritch would sing about.
Yeah.
Here's to the ladies who lunch. Does anybody still wear hats?
Wasn't that a great song? Even though it's really not a song that resonates for us, you can tell it was a great song that resonated.
It was, and no one knows what we're talking about, but you should, because it's Sondheim, and even if you're like a meathead jock, you should know great songs. Even if they come from musical theater, a great song is a great song. Elaine Stritch made famous Sondheim song, Ladies Who Lunch, and it's about a bunch of old rich ladies that sit around, they eat lunch, and they talk shit about each other, basically.
And they hate themselves.
They hate themselves, and then they all wear their fancy hats, and at one point Elaine Stritch goes, does anybody even wear hats? And then she goes downstairs and drinks a bottle of witch hazel. Anyway.
But you know what the best part about it is, too? Is that I had to go to a screening of the Sondheim HBO. They did a special on it.
It was great.
I thought just the opposite. This was abominable.
Why?
I just thought it was boring. Like, they didn't pick the greatest songs. It was just, everything about it was just...
I thought it was only 6 songs. And they
I know,
Sondheim, well,
just-
you know what? Because you don't
thought it
like
was-
sending the clowns.
I thought it was ill-conceived. No, I do like Sending the Clowns.
I thought it was a
But
great...
I prefer saying ill-conceived better. I really feel good. Dowager ill-conceived. Hi, gorgeous Nikki.
Television's own Colin Quinn, getting love from my beautiful bride right now.
Woo!
Thing going on the side. My son looks alarmingly like me.
He's got some... Who saw those mitts?
The big mitts on the baby.
He's
So
the greatest.
you weren't crazy about... I thought it was great.
I didn't.
Sometimes. 6 songs. What was it called? 6 songs?
Let me just say why I love Jay Mohr. Because you could talk about sport. You could talk sports with the best of the most biggest, sports meathead guy.
All right.
You'll sit here and we'll start doing Sondheim and you get right into it.
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
I don't know.
What am I supposed to do? Change the topic?
First of all, your impression of me is like...
It got worse. I will admit. It's not as good as it was, but I do like that you have a 5 o'clock shadow. But somebody should have told you that it's 5:15. We started a little late. Colin was downstairs trying to get tea bags off a Derringer.
Dowager.
Instead, he picked a man who showed a Derringer and put it in his eye. All right. Let's just talk to each other like this. You look nice today.
You
look
really
very,
are.
You look like the priest in Doubt.
Oh, no.
Sweatshirt and a hoodie.
I look like what the real priest would look like today in doubt. You're right.
You're just hanging out. Would you be the cool priest that could teach basketball and make sure the kids' nails are clipped? And
Yeah. And then one day they're like, we never suspected.
Well, you don't know. It's never.
Well-
It's left ambiguous, that play, Doubt. It was a play
know.
before it was a movie. Are we gay?
Yeah. We're talking about Sondheim and doubt, and we're defending... We drew on Sondheim, and we're defending the priest in doubt.
Well, yeah, it's doubt.
Hey, exactly, it is doubt. You don't know.
The only thing that made me think he was guilty in the movie, of course, Meryl Streep was nominated as the nun in Doubt, and Philip Seymour Hoffman played the priest. When I saw it on Broadway, when right before the kids went out to play basketball, he goes, "Let me see those nails," and he gives them that long speech about how important it is to have nice short nails, and I thought, yeah, that's
well. But in fairness, if you were my age, you'd realize back in those days, people would check your nails for cleanliness. You know,
it's for the butt.
Nails were
for the butt.
People talk about nails all the time in those days.
Matty thinks it's just right for the butt.
Just you don't want to cut anything.
Jesus, Matty, you really thought this through. It sounds like you've acted it through, to be honest.
I have a little bit, yeah.
Behind your ears and your nails.
Why would they check behind your ears?
Because people used to have buildup up there. I remember as a little kid, it was almost like a wax behind your ears.
Oh my gosh!
Gross.
Catholic school wax behind the ears.
Catholic school wax.
Catholic school
wax.
Ears. Didn't happen in other parts. Never happened at shul. I'll tell you that. Folks, go to jmohr.com, click the Amazon banner. See Colin, they go to my website and they click the Amazon banner. They buy things. And then I get a kickback from Amazon, and all the money goes to my sons, both of my sons' college tuition. I don't take any of this money. This goes right into a direct account.
Nice.
Because every podcast has an Amazon link now. So you could use anybody's Amazon link. So, maybe Bobby Kelly wants to buy a new Vespa helmet. Great. Or you could put 2 kids through college using jmohr.com. Click the Amazon banner.
Beautiful.
Bobby in a Vespa helmet makes me happy.
Great.
This guy's from San Diego, where I'm going. Just booked it. Hey, Jay, I just got Taft-Hartley yesterday. Do you know what that means?
Oh, yeah, the labor law. Taft-Hartley.
In a movie called Spring. That doesn't make sense. I just got Taft-Hartley in a movie called Spring. All right. Super stoked. So today I'm still drunk.
Oh.
This sounds...
what's he playing in this movie Spring? Can he give us a little more info on what the movie was and what's happening?
I'll email him back.
It could be a porno, or it could be like one of those, Judi Dench movies.
I will email him back, and we'll sit here and we'll wait.
Good. We'll find out if it's either gonna be like
Taft-Hartley yesterday in a movie called Spring. Super stoked. So today I'm still drunk. That's the opening sentence.
Spring is either a semi-exploitation type teen comedy, starring one of the fallen girls from I don't know. I might get nothing. Or it's a Kate Blanchett Awakening movie.
Awakenings. There you have it. He's super stoked. His name is Vinnie Curran, by the way. Vinnie
Curran, Irish guy. Yeah.
Today I'm still drunk. I just went to your website, clicked the Amazon button, and boom, all capitals for emphasis. I bought a snow machine, $206. We're having a snow party at the bar I work at in San Diego, Thrusters Lounge. I have a big list of things to buy, so why not go through you? Thank you, Jay Mohr, for your podcast. I'm a big fan. Put your name. Oh, he put your SAG on it. So maybe he did. Maybe it is a little union item, like you said. Vinnie Curran or Vinnie Curran, Curran. Probably not Quran. Probably not the Holy Book.
Yes, the Taft-Hartley act. He's an extra in Lone Survivor 2. Vinnie Curran.
Anyway, he plays Taft-Hartley in the original Lone Survivor, and that happened in Cuba. All right, Vinnie Curran. Thank you very much, Vinnie. I appreciate it. Going to San Diego to do a little stand-up. When
are you going there?
May 1st.
What is it, the American Comedy Club? What's it called?
I'm not even sure what it's called, to be honest with you, because it got booked a while ago, and tickets aren't even on sale yet. It's very hush-hush,
QT, it's strictly on the...
Yeah, because I don't give a care, all right?
What about...
May 1st, May 2nd, May 3rd, I'm doing stand-up in San Diego, and I'm bringing the whole radio show down there with me, and tickets go on sale in February. So if you guys are so inclined, come see me do stand-up comedy, and all my dates, go to jmohr.com. If you want to know things about Colin Quinn, you have a website, don't you, sweetheart?
Nah, not really. They can look up the tour Unconstitutional, look for tour dates on there, but my website, I just ignored it years ago, and it just kind of atrophied.
Why?
Just because I just started getting into Twitter. I didn't want to go on Facebook anymore, so I just let that atrophy, let the website atrophy. I don't know.
Are you too big for the website? Let it atrophy? Does it actually wither? Does the font get smaller?
It does seem like it atrophies.
The Y starts to dangle. It can't hold it up at the end anymore?
Just brutal. It's brutal.
It's a big word for a dummy.
Brutal.
Then my website.
Brutal.
My website began to atrophy.
Remember, that line? Be brutal.
That's the guy who got kicked out of Black Eyed Peas. Atrophy? No. That was the rapper that didn't make it. You know my guy. Apathy. Yeah, it was a team. It was Apathy and Atrophy. They used to sing a duet. I'm withering away and I don't want to help you.
Let me tell you guys something. For a guaranteed short thing on Valentine's Day, send her a great gift. Think of what you get in return for a good Valentine's gift. Give and you shall receive.
Wow.
Giant freshly dipped strawberries from Sherry's Berries, starting at $19.99, over 40% savings, or double the berries for just $10 more. You need my code MOHR, M-O-H-R, when you order. Now, here's the thing, Colin. Return on investment. The more they hear the ad, they've already done it. They don't do it anymore. So if you've already ordered the berries, order more. Just enter my promo code MOHR when you do it, M-O-H-R. They could be dipped in white milk or chocolatey goodness, dark chocolatey goodness, topped with chocolate chips, decorative swizzle. You look like a decorative swizzle guy.
I have no idea what that would even look like.
Oh, they do like a little swizzle back and forth. Like when it's very
nice.
fancy. 40% off from Sherry's Berries. Enormous, romantic, fresh, juicy, mouth-watering. Here's the only way to get this amazing Valentine's Day deal. Giant, freshly dipped strawberries. As Colin and I would say, strawberries.
Strawberries.
Starting at $19.99 or double the berries for just $10 more. Visit Berries, B-E-R-R-I-E-S, berries.com. Berries.com. Click on the microphone in the top right corner and type in M-O-H-R. Go to berries.com, click on the microphone, and type in M-O-H-R. Order today. They will guarantee on-time delivery or your money back. Colin Quinn, your show, Long Story Short, on HBO, I thought was fantastic.
Thank you.
I have not seen Unconstitutional yet. Is it the same type of setup?
It is the same type of setup. Luckily, Billy saw it. Of course, Matt is waiting to see Bad Grandpa, the unedited version. But listen,
waiting for Fast and Furious 11.
Why am I getting taken shots at?
Why not? Because you're welcome to New York, kid.
Because you're here.
Now you know why everyone
Fast and Furious.
Hey, now you know why
You're
everyone.
gonna come with something better than that.
Well, I'm not as smart as Colin. Now you know why everyone in LA thinks I'm a dick. I sit around and break balls with guys like Colin all day. Then I get on a plane and I go to
LA.
the Improv. I'm like, hey, look at these assholes. And they're like, we just met. What's wrong with this guy? Wow, I'm sorry. I thought I was breaking balls. We don't do that out here, sir. We're alternative comics here.
Yeah.
We treat each other with polite. We wait till we get home to talk shit to each other.
Yeah. I loved Unconstitutional. Thanks, Billy. Unconstitutional was something of a miracle show in the sense that here I am trying to do another show, and then I started talking about the Constitution because I was like, why does everybody love the Constitution? I never read the Constitution, so I was like, why does everybody love it? And everybody hates. Nobody agrees on anything in this country. Everybody loves the Constitution. So then I started looking into it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And that was the input. How long is the show Unconstitutional?
Like 80 minutes, same as the other one.
80 minutes. And no intermission. You plow straight through.
Plow straight through.
And is it still going on? Is it still on tour?
Yeah, I've been on tour.
And where do people get tour dates from?
I've been on tour. The tour Unconstitutional, I said that a minute ago, Jay. Please.
Where do they find dates for it?
That's where it's on there. It's all on there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The tour Unconstitutional.
That's the website for the tour.
Just Google that, yeah.
Or you just go to I Am Colin Quinn on Twitter.
And then you see me call it The Touche, which is really what I should have called it from the beginning.
The Touche?
Yeah, it's a better name. That's what I call it Unconstitutional, The Touche.
The Touche.
That's what everybody knows it as on Twitter.
Oh, because you're cool and you don't give a care.
Yeah, I call it The Touche.
Michael Bublé, ever seen one of those shows? He's a Canadian guy.
You know,
he probably use a little lesson in unconstitutional.
I would like the Booble. I'd like Boobles to show up at one of my shows at some point. Yeah, but no, I don't think he has.
Keep talking. I'm obviously drinking a coffee.
All right. Well, basically, I'll talk about the show, which is the interesting thing is, Billy, I'll be glad to tell you, is the psychology that it created. Like you take the Quran, which we've been talking about. That created the Arab psychology, which I know this is, by the way, blasphemy to speak in our society that there would be a psychology of an actual group of people. You're not even supposed to think that. Apparently today, this whole country is just finished as far as I can see. But let's say there was an Arab. Let's say
I think we're just getting started.
Let's say for an ignorant person like me, I would say there's an Arab mentality.
Okay.
I'd say the Quran influenced that. So I'd say there's an American mentality. I would say the Constitution made us who we are.
Yeah. Well, obviously.
Personality-wise.
Why? What is it about the Constitution?
Because it sort of tells you you're just as good as anybody else. I don't care if it's a millionaire. I don't care if it's the president. I don't care who it is. You're equal.
Unless
that's
you're
beautiful.
black or a woman and a non-landowner.
Well, back then, yes. But as I say during the show, I explain our way out of that. Don't worry. I take care of that.
Okay, good.
I go, listen, even if you don't like the Founding Fathers, you still use the Constitution when you get jammed up. And I'm certainly not talking to women on that one.
Do you put your hand over your mouth like that on stage?
And I go, because I said sometimes you have to look at the writing and not the person that wrote it, like Phil Spector. I go, sometimes the actions, you have to go, oh, you know what? Be My Baby was a great song. I'll just forget about what the guy did in his own time.
Yeah, look at his hair. It's very stressful to keep that hair up and rocking like that. Let's go back to, because I haven't talked to you since the show was up and running and you did it on HBO. Oh, no, we did. We did podcast here from this very room.
Yes.
And you came in the same time as the room service guy, and you sent the room service guy away, and you acted like you were bringing me all my room service food. And you were like, look at this, Look at this. CQ comes prepared.
Always funny.
It was like an old Jerry Lewis routine. It was one of the best things in the world.
It's one of those things they used to do to each other constantly.
Always. I loved Long Story Short, and I learned from you so much about world history from watching Long Story Short, and I love the runner of England just being so obsessed with France. That was the one domino they couldn't topple for the British Empire. Will France be coming?
Right.
Just they had this complete love affair, looking across the channel, as you said, like John Cusack holding a boombox over his head, playing "In Your Eyes" by Peter Gabriel, hoping France will come back.
Yeah, and it's so funny because I did that as a routine in my act at the Cellar, and this English comedian, David Baker. I don't know if you know that ginger from England, but
Ginger Baker.
He came. And he comes up to me after the show and he goes, that's so true. I can't believe none of us ever thought of that. That's exactly how we feel about France. And I was like, wow, that's going to be a hot routine. I felt good then. I felt confident.
What was France's historically, what was it about France that they just were impenetrable, that you couldn't woo them?
Yeah, just that that personality. They just, you know what I mean? They had just that hot girl that if she wants to fuck you, she'll fuck you. And if she doesn't, there's nothing you can do.
And France just did not want to fuck England at all.
Yeah, they were just like, England impressed everybody else with all their language and Shakespeare and all this. And then France like, yeah, it's great. And still they have their own style. They just had style, you know what I mean?
France was like, nice Canterbury Tales. Boring.
Boring.
We're going to eat some trees and drink some wine instead.
Be brutal.
Not a lot. I didn't think there was a little. You touched on it. I didn't think there was a lot of. I thought you could make an entire show on peace in the Middle East. In all seriousness, I'm not joking.
About the Middle East.
If anybody, I'm reading Jimmy Carter's Peace, Not Apartheid. A little light reading.
Yeah.
It's always good when you're in a taxi cab and you're reading about settlements in the Gaza Strip, and the guy's like, "What are you reading?" And you're like, "Nothing, nothing at all, eh? Guns and ammo. What say you? What say you that thinks the Pentagon was an inside job, driver?" Real quick, that actually happened to me. I took a car ride home from a corporate gig. It was like a 4-hour drive. And I'm reading Jimmy Carter, Peace, Not Apartheid. And I don't talk to the driver at all because I want to fall asleep in the car. So I'm going to read a little bit. I'm reading about the Middle East. And the one thing I say, hey to the driver, how you doing? By the way, my name's Jay. He goes, my name's whatever his name was. And then I'm just saying in case he listens to the podcast. And he goes, after 9/11, that's the first words out of his mouth after his name. Like, my name's Mike. I go, hey, Mike, how you doing? He goes, after 9/11, the Pentagon, they never found any luggage, man. Never found anybody's luggage. It's got to freak you out that the government could be capable. Like, that's what he started with. And so for the next, 14 minutes, I just let him go about it was a missile, it wasn't a plane, it wasn't a thing. And he goes, these goddamn Arabs, and we took it easy on the Saudis because they tried into the Illuminati. It was like a whole thing. And then he doesn't ask, looking at the 10 freeway, driving straight ahead. He literally, as he's driving, looks over his shoulder. My iPad's lit up, and he goes, what are you reading? And I just close it. I go, I was just playing Scrabble. I wasn't about to go. Just, maybe there is some sympathy for the Palestinians. They're irrigating water away from the Palestinian villages so the Israelis could use it to fund all their projects. I never really saw this side of you. And Jimmy Carter, who's in your eyes probably a weakling, really supports the Palestinians in this book. So I just told him I was playing Scrabble. So Middle East, you got a show in the Middle East coming up, I heard? In Philly?
No, but I do. No, but I'm... it's funny you say Philly because I want to shoot the Constitution, of course, in Philly. So I spoke to the Constitution Center, which I did the show there a couple of times, and they said I could have the lawn. And then across the street from the lawn at night, you see the whole Constitution Hall.
Wow.
But, except everybody's telling me, even after all this time, everything's so high tech. everybody's saying it's still bad audio if you shoot outdoors. Like you can't worry. Like a plane might go overhead.
So what? The Stones play Shade Stadium back in the day. The planes were screaming over. Nobody cared. Put your arm on mine. I don't.
You know what I'm saying though? I'm saying the Stones playing Shea Stadium is a different type of thing. You know how stand-up is. You need the punchlines.
So you're saying you got some big forearms on your CQ. You've been punching the bag. You still play boxing a little bit?
No. But I've been lifting a little bit.
You don't play the boxing?
No, not no more.
So you don't want to do it outdoors because you're right. The timing is so it needs to.
I do want to do it outdoors.
But you just said the acoustic.
I was hoping you were going to. I threw that out there, hoping you were like kind of a technological genius, where you'd be like, "No, you know what? You use this." I just said I just saw 8 shows somebody in stand-up did that they did outside in the
plane canceling microphones. That's what you got to do.
I was hoping you. I was just hoping. Well, I'm not worried about planes. Somebody just brought that up. It's the middle of Philly. There's no plane. But I mean, it's at night. Nobody flies into Philly at night. Nobody drives into Philly at night.
Boys to men do.
Anyway.
Now that they're men, they all drive around.
I thought you were going to have some, kind
advice?
Yeah, some kind of new age kind of thing where you, not new age, but like some updated, like high tech thing. Like, Bo Burnham just did a special at the Coliseum outdoors.
Look, what do you want me to do? You want to go to Philadelphia, get the crickets, then rub their legs together? What are you doing? You talk, Colin? Because I could do that. I'll talk to Jimmy from the clubhouse. We'll pull it all together for you. All right?
Yeah.
Is that the problem? The crickets with the legs rubbing?
Maybe I'll get B-Hop to do security. That'll quiet the crowd down.
Look, we'll get B-Hop. We'll get Jimmy from the clubhouse. We'll tell everybody in Philly. If I hear one goddamn cricket, I swear to God, I'm taking everybody to the Liberty Bell. I'm going to put in more cracks. You follow me? If I hear one cricket, when Colin's breaking down the Middle East, I'm going to split some fucking
no, the Middle East could be
brotherly love.
You know what? The Middle East, here's why that was very smart. Because, first of all, the Middle East, people always say, "Oh, you should do something about the Bible." And I'm like, "Yeah, but the Bible's not like Italy or America in 1930. People don't have that much invested in the Bible for the most part."
What?
Well, I'm saying this country.
Mind?
Man, nobody really takes it as seriously as they did.
Well, maybe not in Philly, New York, but if you go,
no, I know, but even down south,
west of eastern Pennsylvania, it's Bible until you hit
Bible to an extent, yes. But but here's the point: the Middle East is the Bible. Those two shows combine very nicely.
The Bible. What do you combine the Bible and the Middle East to hit where they overlap and stuff?
Well, that's
Harry Truman.
They totally overlap. Yeah.
Harry Truman created Israel because, according to his Bible, he said, "According to my Bible, they live here." When he created Israel for the Jews.
Well, and Israel existed long before Harry Truman.
Right. But he was the guy that...
He was the guy that, right.
We won the war, and to the victor go the spoils.
Sure.
And we won creating Israel. I'm not sure how that was a...
Yes.
Spoil. If you're an Arab, it turned out not so great.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's
a tough situation over there.
It's a tough situation.
It's also one of those things, if you did a special about the Middle East, you will... Each night, you'll be wrong for a different reason from somebody else.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Bible.
Well, the Bible, yeah. No, I don't. The Bible, I still feel like it's like. Let's put it this way. All I'm saying is this: if you went on any TV show, or anywhere, and you made fun of the Bible, there's no blowback. Israel and the Middle East is a different situation. You talk about the Bible in this country, nothing happens to you.
I disagree.
People pretend that you're being edgy if you go after the Bible.
I think
I've done a lot of biblical material.
Yeah, but you rarely do TV.
Oh. And it's funny because in the North, they literally don't get what I'm talking about when I'm discussing the Bible.
What do you mean, like Minnesota?
Yeah, no, I'm saying like New York. Nobody has read the Bible to understand the names of the apostles, the different things about the apostles.
Well, you have to explain it to them, sweetie. Nobody knew.
No.
Nobody knew about Rome and Roman Empire until you told it to them.
What I'm trying to explain to you is this. I think you're missing the bigger picture right now. I'm saying that because they don't understand they don't have a familiarity and they're not invested that much in religion. You honestly think that when Lenny Bruce made fun of the church
with Lenny Bruce again.
No, but I'm saying
comic to ever live.
But it doesn't matter. When he made fun of the church in 1960, that was edgy.
Yeah.
Anybody making fun of any Catholic, unless it's Islam or Judaism, if you make fun of any Christian religion, including Catholicism, for the past 25 years, you're telling me there's any blowback?
Not with Catholics. You get a free pass. Like Bill Mohr does a Catholic joke.
That's what I'm saying.
I took what's the name of the show? Bill Mohr.
Real Time.
I took Real Time off my TiVo list because I just got tired of hearing about it. As a Catholic, I'm like, this is the lowest hanging fruit in the world. Turn the page, Bill.
This is what I'm saying. So how can you say that it's a dangerous thing. You're
Something
disagreeing
about
with
you,
me.
Colin Quinn, explaining a guy talking to a burning bush makes me very happy.
Yes, I will discuss. I love talking about religion.
The guy's walking up the hill. He looks to his right. There's a bush on fire. And he goes, you know what? Maybe I should put it out.
But you know what the truth is? The truth is,
and you know what it said? Put me out. I'm on fire.
The Middle East is part of the whole. Is really about the Bible.
Yeah.
They're both so connected.
What's your favorite book? Oh, you told me that. I asked. Do you remember your answer? I remember your answer when I asked you what your favorite book of the Bible was. Boy, I really stink. So far, I've asked you 2 of the same questions from 2 years ago when you were on the podcast.
I remember.
Your favorite book of the Bible, you told me, was Revelations.
Oh, well, what's better than that?
But I like reading The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, and you realize when he goes so fast forward.
I didn't read it, no.
Oh, really? Colin, you will love The Time Machine because he goes crazy and he keeps going and he can't stop himself, and he goes so far into the future that the sea is on fire and giant crabs are fucking walking around, and you realize it's Revelations. He went all the way to Revelations. It's great. As Matty Boy's blowing Newport smoke into your cute beard.
I just told you, Matt. I said the only thing I love is cigarettes. No, I want him to smoke around us.
I want him to, too.
A little secondhand.
Smoking in the room.
No,
they don't care here for what they charge a night.
It's an electronic cigarette.
You get a.
What do you think of electronic cigarettes?
I think you look like a total asshole. If you can't wait until you're outside someplace smoking a cigarette and you have to sit in a restaurant
weird,
with a
isn't it?
stupid blue light saying, "Look at me, I'm Steven Dorff." I took my life back. I'm Steven Dorff with an
Steven
electronic
Dorff
cigarette.
looks like he needs it in those commercials.
He's a good-looking
Jesus.
kid.
No, but I'm saying
I
it
don't know
looks
if I
like
should
he's...
fuck him or fight him.
Fight him!
Drink up, Jake. It's ginger ale.
Oh, my God. Jesus. Is that part of the podcast?
That Matty he learned how to smoke out of it.
Holy shit.
Would you get that phone?
Thank God he's smoking. Now we want him to smoke.
Get the phone. Some asshole keeps calling.
Right.
So, unconstitutional, you've realized that people...
Does that smell over here?
No, it's fine. These guys are acting like... They're acting like children.
They're overreacting.
You're saying Americans live by the Constitution, but they don't really understand the Constitution, so you wanted to...
No, I'm saying they do understand it.
I don't think they do.
I just want them to
I don't think they can name more than 2. I think they know the First Amendment, Second Amendment, 14th Amendment. I think the rest of it, they have no idea what it is.
Well, they don't have to. I'm saying they understand it internally as far as they live by a certain set of rules, like an internal set, like our value system of, hey, I have my rights, I have my individual rights, and I have my private property, and, intellectual property. All this stuff is based on the Constitution.
Break it down. So I could say what I want.
Right.
I could defend myself with a firearm if I wish.
Right.
I don't know what the third one is. And I consider myself an educated man, Mr. Garrison. You don't know nothing, Mr. Garrison, because you never been fucked in your ass. Sorry, it's too many JFK words.
Fuck you, motherfucker.
What's the third one?
Only if you do Tommy Lee Jones.
Clay Bertram's Clay Shaw.
He goes, I wish to extend to you and your family the happiest of Easters.
Yeah, I don't know any of his lines.
Fucking greatest. Listen, that movie was choppy in places.
JFK?
There were 20 of the greatest performances of all time.
Yeah, and some of them are super, like Kevin, we're talking about JFK, we're all over the place. This is what happens when me and CQ get together. But IDAC, straight up. We don't give a care right now.
We don't give a care.
Kevin Bacon as the gay inmate was amazing. You're not a bad-looking man, Mr. Garrison. That's in the opening credits of this podcast. Did you know that?
No,
it's nice to know you listen. Anyway, God forbid you download it to your mobile device and get the Mohr Stories app on your phone. You're too busy tweeting people and retweeting pictures of Ray Liotta going, Karen! That's all you do all day. I see you.
Karen.
On his Twitter account.
So what are the greatest performances?
It's not going to stop me from going out, Karen.
That was all the money we had, Karen. I'm sorry.
Wait. So JFK, you don't mean Kevin Costner. We are through the looking glass, people. Like he sounds very monotone.
I'm saying
in the movie.
Joe Pesci.
This was
just when he goes,
coup d'etat.
Just when Joe Pesci goes, I just wanted to be a priest, except for one terrible fucking weakness.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then he goes, but he starts talking, and then Kevin Costner goes, "Who shot the president?" David. And he goes, "Who shot the? You know what? This is too fucking big for you." He just looked at him like with contempt, like who killed the president? Like that's your question? This is too fucking big for you.
Yeah,
because the shooters don't even know who shot the president.
Coming from a gay guy having key parties and he can't even keep his wig straight in the movie, his wig's falling off his head. It's amazing. Maury's wigs stay on.
How about John Candy?
How about Donald? Yeah, John Candy was great. Like, hey, Daddy-O. Let me tell you, Donald Sutherland, one of the greatest performances that nobody ever talks about.
You're right. He's
got like 14 pages of the most complex dialogue in the world, with all those inserts of newspaper articles and putting it all together for we are through the looking glass, people. This is a coup d'etat. Back and to the left.
Oh, so now let me ask you this about the JFK assassination. Obviously, there's something, or else we wouldn't be waiting. When is it coming out? 12 years? 14 years?
The real info?
Yes.
First of all, what do you think I know what I think the real
I think the mafia
is.
did it.
The mafia? Yeah. I think the military did it. Because he was going to stop the military-industrial complex that Eisenhower warned everybody about on his way out. And Eisenhower, one of the most prescient things ever said of as a president leaving was, God help the man without my military experience that sits in this chair.
Oh, I never heard that quote.
Oh, that's what he said on his way out the door.
Jesus.
Next man up is the young chestnut-haired guy from area.
But that guy had military experience. PT 109. I read his book when I was a little kid.
A little kid.
PT 109.
That was JFK's book.
You know, when I was a baby.
But he wasn't a 5-star general like Eisenhower.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
but
he said, beware of the military-industrial complex.
And beware of the guy that God help the guy that I love that quote.
It's amazing.
By the way, do we know anyone in this room that shook hands with JFK? Yeah.
You shook hands with JFK?
Fuck yes. I was a baby.
He shook his baby arm?
He shook my baby hand. I was a little baby. He was in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. My father held me up, and they said JFK grabbed my hand for a second. When he was in a fucking,
and then they fucking shot him.
In a motorcade.
Tainted him. You really shook JFK's hand?
JFK. I was like, what's up, man?
How old are you for real?
I was like 9 months old.
9 months old, and your dad just...
Dad helped me up in Bay Ridge. Fucking JFK was in there.
I like that your dad, they crowd surfed you to the front.
Yeah.
Baby CQ and a
Bay Ridge, it probably wasn't that crowded in those days. Bay Ridge voted for Nixon.
And then, but JFK... so
was there campaigning or...
That's the legend. You don't know. You don't remember JFK shaking your hand, do you?
No.
You're a fine-looking young man.
Colin.
Somebody changed Colin's diaper.
But I do remember when JFK got shot. I was 4, and all the ladies on my block were out there. My mother was out there. They were all on the stoops crying. We lived in East 7th Street and Avenue C at the time of Flatbush, and all the ladies on the block are like crying. So you're a little kid, you're like, what the fuck's going on? And my sister, who was 5, goes to me, the president got shot. So I reacted like, oh no. And she goes, you don't even know what the president is. And guess what? I saw a look in her eye. I saw this look in her eye of weakness. I go, neither do you. And she was fucking stunned because she didn't know what the fuck it was either.
You shook his hand. Yeah.
Right, I should. If I had known that, I would have gone, you fucking tell me. I'm friends with the fucking guy.
We're pals. He's in my play group.
Yeah. I caught that. I go, neither do you. Because something in her eye was like scared when she said, you don't even know what a president is.
That's impressive that and I'm being serious, at 4 years old, it is amazing when the will of instinct kicks in that you, to quote Cobain, never underestimate the will of instinct.
Oh.
You knew at 4 years old, you saw weakness in your sister's eye.
Yeah.
And you took it.
I took it.
Your shot like a sniper.
Well, she was fucking with me. You don't know what the president is. Why fucking bring that up?
As did Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oh. And Jack Ruby. What about Jack Ruby? You telling me the military hired him?
No.
The mafia hired him.
I love Dennis Miller's bit about the JFK assassination.
I haven't seen choreography like that since Lee Harvey Oswald. Prison transfer.
Don't you love the fact that Jack Ruby got into the garage? Hey, boss, the guy that owns a local titty bar is here. He's got a handgun. Should we let him in? Yeah, let him in. Who the fuck were they turning away?
Yeah.
God, that's one of my favorite albums of all time. The Off-White album by Dennis Miller. That really was like the first comedy album where I was going, wow, words are really important. It's not just about humping the stool and talking about getting fingers in your butt.
Dennis Miller showed up at in the comedy. I remember like 85, 86. More like, thinking we're better than we are, local fucking guys getting up at the comic strip, like feeling our oats, And then Dennis Miller shows up and he's like on SNL, but he's working out all the time. Like all the other comics on SNL just kind of hung in. He's out there at the fucking clubs all the time. And he's up there and we're watching this guy just spew this like intelligent, like the Off-White album early stuff. He was doing that stuff. but cursing the whole time. And like there was a whole movement of like, you know, where people were trying not to curse, not me, but I mean there were guys who were like, you know, cursing comics, and there were clean comics.
And the comic strip was pretty much a clean room.
The comic strip was clean, except me and Chris Rock cursed, but I remember, and Lucian's like, he doesn't need to curse. He's so great. It was so funny to watch this guy. I still remember, like, and you know, wearing these like crazy '80s clothes, with a long fucking mullet, and he's up there, and you're like, holy shit! It was like nobody ever heard a sound like that before. And I remember thinking, how does this guy come from fucking Pittsburgh or L.A. and have like this kind of sound? I just thought I was such a New York snob. I said, you have to be from New York to fucking have this kind of attitude and fucking tone. But he was, you know, from Pittsburgh.
Do you know he used to be a prop act? I think he was on Star Search.
I heard that.
One of the greatest Dennis Miller stories I ever heard. I've told it on the podcast before, but too bad CQ hasn't heard it.
No, I haven't. I do need to hear it.
You know, when you're starting out, you got to drive the headliner around. You know,
yes.
So they're doing some gig in Pittsburgh. I don't know who the opener was, but he had to drop Dennis Miller off at his house. And it was on this huge hill in Pittsburgh, like up in the Alleghenies, you know?
It's all a huge hill in Pittsburgh.
And then he goes out, Dennis Miller leaves, and he goes, hey, man, thanks for the ride. And the guy goes, no problem. Like, as they're talking, a tire, like it's the middle of the night. They just got back from a gig. It's like 1:32 in the morning. This tire is just like rolling down this hill. I mean, like nowhere.
Not from the guy's car.
Well, that's what it turned out to. And they're like, what? And Miller's like, what the fuck? You got a fucking tire going down the middle of your street. It's like a goddamn tumbleweed in a Bugs Bunny car. So Dennis had to get his props out of the trunk of the guy's car. The guy, like a month later, he's on a gig. He's in the middle of nowhere. He goes to get his spare. Fucking Miller just took the guy's spare out and rolled it down the street as a joke. And then made a joke, like, at the time, was like, and what kind of neighborhood do you live in? You got fucking tires rolling down the street. Who lives above you? The fucking Michelin man? Chip, chip, chip.
What an asshole.
What a dick. What a fucking creep.
What a fucking scumbag.
So the guy, Colin says, what a fucking scumbag.
What a scumbag move that is. Because it's all funny until the fucking you need the tire, then you're fucking stranded.
Well, that's kind of how the story works, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That's
terrible.
Unconstitutional. What's the amendment that people really don't know about? Give me the ones that people really have no idea are even in there. Can I make a guess?
Sure.
Presidential, limitations on your power of time in office.
Article 5.
Term limits.
Oh, term limits, everybody knows about it, yeah.
Do you think so? They couldn't name which one it is.
Except I can't name which one it is.
You did the whole show about it.
I don't give a shit. But I mean, I think it's probably, I say it's Section 8, Article 1, Section 8.
Are we talking about the same piece of paper? Am I talking about the Declaration of Independence?
It's got Section 8.
Oh, okay. So
it's got
the
a bunch
Constitution,
of
it's
Article 1 is the
amendments.
big one.
What amendment is the one that people know the least about?
What amendment? Probably soldiers quartered in your house of the amendments. I mean, you know.
Well, what's the Constitution but a series of amendments, no?
Well, no, the beginning's not amendments. The first articles aren't.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm saying the amendments actually came 2 years later.
Okay, break it
down. But I'm saying the Bill of Rights is the amendments, and then
educate me. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I figured they all
the beginning
went to all at the same time.
I mean, what they don't know is, first of all, that it was, that it was basically, it was written like it was like just, the whole thing was written by about 4 or 5 guys. The rest of the people were just there, kind of
in wigs, guys wearing wigs.
Yes, and Thomas Jefferson wasn't there.
Hold on,
John
guys,
Adams wasn't there.
Guys in wigs that looked a lot like Joe Pesci in JFK.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, go ahead.
Terrible fucking weakness. What they don't know is that it was started because it was like a riot. It was almost like a civil war. Here's the beauty of the Constitution.
Yeah.
It was almost the same exact position we're in right now. All the fucking conflicts, all the infighting, all the debt, all the, fights over money, all that stuff was why they had the Constitutional Convention. We already had a government. We didn't need to have a Constitution. And the other interesting part was that Thomas Jefferson and John Adams weren't involved at all in any of it.
Why was that? Why weren't they involved?
They were out of town. Well, I speculate in the show it was James Madison's George Harrison move where he's sick of hearing about these geniuses. He was trying to show people like fucking Here Comes the Sun. I got some shit too, But I mean, because he wrote most of it,
So, Thomas Jefferson and John Adams, they're out of town on business.
Yeah.
Put that in
Paris
quotes. We'll put that in quotes.
Exactly.
It was a big goddamn party after the Revolutionary War. They were the belle of the ball everywhere they went, right?
Right. But meanwhile, the country was falling apart. The country was collapsing.
And I didn't know that.
Yeah, the whole country's.
I think everybody assumes, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought everybody would assume that after 1776 and everything gets signed and ratified and we kick the British's ass and they beat it, we're up and running. We got 13 colonies. We have no worries. But that's not the case, you're saying.
That's not the case. And the other truth is the South didn't want this. First of all, Rhode Island never showed up for the whole Constitution, not because they're the mob state. This is before the mob. But they never showed up. New Hampshire showed up 6 weeks late.
Well, it took a long time to get to a meeting then, Colin. They had to go on fucking horse.
Exactly. And that's why the fact that we can't have it today is ridiculous. George Mason didn't sign it.
Mike Jarvis signed for George Mason. That's way inside.
What is that?
He was the head coach of George Mason University.
That's great.
Didn't you remember Mike Jarvis? All right, so George Mason didn't sign. Thomas Jefferson didn't sign. John Adams didn't sign.
John Adams didn't sign. But I'm saying George Mason didn't sign because he's like, this thing is bullshit. I don't believe in this. Patrick Henry said this thing sucks. I'm not.
How could these guys think it's bullshit?
These are like big names.
It's the backbone.
John Hancock wasn't invited because everybody said he's kind of a dick. And you see how he gave the big hands?
Yeah.
You know?
But you would think that these guys would be invited and would be very excited about signing it because it was a continuum of what they had already started in the Continental Congress. But this is
still the problem today.
Tell me, please.
The problem today is states' rights versus federal rights.
Yeah.
And that's what the whole conflict is today. And I honestly believe this country's going to break up. I really do. I think this country... I've been doing the show, and I started by doing the 13 colonies. Mm-hmm. And everybody reacts to the show in a different kind of way, and I just feel like this country has so much. It has so many differences, like cultural differences and ideological differences. I feel like we're going to break up. I feel like we're going to be like Russia, like 6 countries.
Really? We'll have like a Kazakhstan, a Texas,
ACC,
Brooklyn. It'll be like the NCAA. We'll have the ACC, the Big East.
Yeah, I do feel like there's so many things right now that people are just they don't agree on what this country should look. What their vision of this country is. And who's to say who has the right answer to that? The Constitution
Colin
says
Quinn does.
Nobody. Well, yeah.
Go on. Sorry.
Right, I'm just saying.
I don't even make a joke because you got really good points and you're actually educated.
No, but I actually would like to be the benign dictator of this country. I would love to be that.
Benevolent or malevolent? Which one would you be?
I'd be benevolent
to a point.
Yes.
To a point. A man has his
bloodshed.
limits.
Every dictator has, you have to
have him washed and sent to my tent. That'd be CQ's rally cry. Have him washed and sent to my tent. That'd be code for "Where's my tea?"
Yeah, I'll be with my suite like this. This looks like a presidential suite.
It is actually a presidential suite.
See, nice.
But I had to go out of pocket. I'm here for this. This is Super Bowl week that we're doing this from. You guys are going to hear this about 2 weeks after the Super Bowl. But Super Bowl week, I get to New York. I get to have more stories with some of my friends. And you know what? One invite went out so far.
Really?
That's it. Quality.
I'm honored.
I'm not lying either. Boomer Esiason and I spoke about it, but it looks like, you just put out the feelers because Boomer does a lot of great, great charity work because his son was born with a terrible disease and now he's living I think you're only supposed to live to like 5 if you have what Gunnar has. And now he's like up and running. He plays football in college and stuff. And
wow.
Boomer's like an astounding father. And people don't know that about Boomer Esiason. It's great stuff.
No.
But CQ, we could talk about a guy saving his kid's life, or we could talk about Colin getting teabagged in the tent when he's the dictator.
Yes.
That's more important. What state? I know one in my head. Which is when the country breaks up? You're saying when, not if.
I'm saying the country's going to break up. I'm going to say sometimes things have to come to an end. Everything comes to an end. Why would the United States last forever?
It wouldn't last forever, Colin, but it can last more than 240 years. I mean,
I think 240 is a nice run.
Really?
Yes.
Don't most dynasties go about 600 years before they fall apart?
Yes.
You know the math on this.
Some of them go thousands, some of them go hundreds, but, I mean...
What about Jay-Z, Rockefeller dynasty? That's still cooking.
Yeah, that's still cooking long after we thought. Didn't he make... Wasn't Hawaiian Sophie supposed to be his, highlight?
What state would be the first one to tap out?
Texas.
Really?
I did the show in Texas. Thank you,
Billy Hayes.
Thank you, boy.
Billy Hayes feeding the benevolent dictator grapes as we speak. Colin, did you eat that whole orange?
Yeah.
You're an animal.
one orange?
You ate it. I went to the other room, put on shoes, and came back. The orange was gone. A chimp wouldn't eat that fast. Jesus Christ.
So
you say Texas.
I did the show in Dallas.
Okay.
And at the beginning of the show, I go, I know you guys don't care. I know you're leaving. And they all start cheering.
Well, of course.
Well, of course, yeah. But I mean, yeah.
I would guess Florida would be my guess.
The first one to leave?
Everything's cockamamie in Florida. Like, everything gets nutty and held up, and it's always like a Supreme Court decision. Like, everything. Like, whether it's a presidential election, potholes, like, everything in Florida gets a little cockamamie.
Well, because Florida was settled by bikers and strippers back in the 1960s.
And before them, it was what? It was Americano Vespucci landed in Florida.
No, I think it was Ponce de Leon.
Ponce de Leon, but Americano Vespucci is the one that actually got the name credit. He's the one that tagged the wall in St. Augustine, like, yo, Americano, son, what's up? And Ponce de Leon was like, God damn it, I didn't bring a pen. What's wrong with me? I should have brought a quill and some fine inks.
Yeah.
Instead, we have 50 pounds of salt on this dumb boat.
Yeah, you're right. Florida is definitely the craziest state.
I think Florida has the most deaths. If you think historically, Ponce de Leon comes over, and the Native Americans are there, and they battle it out for a while.
Seminoles?
Everybody, among others, Okefenokee. Okeechobee,
Osceola or something, right?
Yeah, all the tribes battle it out. Then after him comes Americano Vespucci. Then the Spaniards come over.
Oh.
They land there, right? You with me so far?
Yes.
So it's like a constant civil war in Florida. So by the time we arrive and we start plowing our way south, then you got like it's just a lot of mayhem.
I want to say, Mr. Trafficante, it's an honor to meet you. How about when Donnie Brasco goes south? And hey, see the card from one friend to another. It's like a double meaning.
Yeah, he's a friend of ours.
It's a double meaning.
This is Colin Quinn on Mohr Stories. He's a friend of ours. Don't forget to use stamps.com. You know what it means. The post office is more crowded than usual. Let's say you want to go see Colin Quinn's show, Unconstitutional. You're running a little bit late.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do? You're going to go, oh, I forgot to mail these letters. I got to go to the post office. Then you're going to be in line at the post office, and you're going to miss the first two amendments of the Constitution. You're going to miss the important parts, and that's you laying the groundwork of your show.
Yeah.
What's the most important part of the show?
The beginning.
The very beginning. When you walk out on stage and you get that rush and you sparkle, Neely. Sparkle. Stamps.com, you'll eliminate those time-consuming trips to the post office. Everything you can do at the post office, you can do right from your desk. Buy and print official U.S. postage for any letter or package using your own computer and printer. Stamps.com always updates the postage rates for you automatically. They raise the price of the stamp. Don't worry about it. You're the boss. You've got Stamps.com. You'll get the exact postage you need the instant you need it. You'll never have to go to the post office again. I use Stamps.com. It's great. I've been using it since I started the podcast. I want you to use it too. Right now, use my last name, Mohr, M-O-H-R, for this special offer. No risk trial. $110 bonus offer. That includes a digital scale and up to $55 of free postage. Now, I'm no math major, but that's probably about 18 letters to Colin Quinn saying how much you don't give a care and how much you love him. Listen, don't wait. Go to Stamps.com before you do anything else. Click on the microphone at the top of the homepage and type in Mohr, M-O-H-R. Stamps.com, enter Mohr. Now, Middle East, Bible, and you don't think the country cares about the Bible, and I think you have absolute rocks in your head.
Put it this way. The show I've been working on for my next show.
What?
No, I'm just kidding.
What?
Matt started giving us the rap sign. I gave him the fish eye, and he started getting in my
It's only
glove.
because he's hungry.
Oh, jeez, he's vicious.
Let's call a spade a spade. The only reason he's wrapping up early is because he never got a slice. He's in learning in New York. You're supposed to get a slice of pizza on your way to things.
It's true.
It's true.
He's like, oh, I guess I'll eat when I get there. I guess the joke's on you.
I don't like that now. I mean, obviously, your impression of me is a known work of art. I don't like the fact that now everybody used to hack impressions of me is doing you doing me.
And it's
happening all over.
I know it is. But you know what?
But I guess that's
you know the real deal. You know that you and my son, Mackie, are tag team champions.
That's
you
right.
met him when he was a baby.
But I'm telling you, those hands are getting large, and
he's abnormally large. We live next to a nuclear reactor.
He's got monster hands and forearms. It's crazy.
I always think of him when I see his big hands. When George Carlin does the bit about like, don't bring any dangerous weapons on a plane.
Right.
You know, 5 minutes into the flight, they give you a knife and fork. He goes, "What's a dangerous weapon? What if it's a guy with just abnormally large hands?" He just decides to choke the pilot. You could beat somebody to death with the Sunday New York Times. They're like, what's a deadly weapon? So you think Texas is the first one to tap out? They have their own oil?
They have their own oil. They don't like, it's just obviously, it's so obvious to me that this is like a country that's, because we've always had enough, there's no direct fight. There's no civil war since the Civil War. But believe me, I would never count it out.
But don't you? Here's what I think keeps states from tapping out, and that is the Federal Reserve. Each state that decides to leave is left with the decision, we're going to have to make our own money and our own currency, because if you tap out of the federal government, the Federal Reserve is going to go, have fun, assholes, go print your own fucking money because you're not welcome here, and that's where the whole thing goes south. I mean, you're going to be trading goats and barrels of oil in Texas all through Houston, from Conroe all the way up to
great, you found the one guy in the country that likes the Federal Reserve, Jay. But anyway,
all right.
Yeah, but I mean, so what? I mean, that's not.
What do you mean, so what? How are you going to come up with
the
your
Federal Reserve? I mean,
who needs the Federal Reserve?
I'm saying you could start an economy without the Federal Reserve.
What do you base it on? Oil,
gold
in Texas,
gold
out of people's teeth. How?
Well, I'm just saying you could.
There's not enough rappers in Texas to collect that much gold.
You make Louisiana join in.
Oh, you bring in Louisiana? Yeah. Dirty South. We got to bring ATL. If Texas tap outs, you need Georgia.
Money crew.
Cash Money Millionaires. You need the gold from the Cash Money from Dirty South, from the Dirty Birds in Georgia, ATL. But if Texas, I'm asking you a serious question.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, look.
Well, I just punched a huge hole in your balloon, and you're like, I guess.
No, I mean, there's other ways. There's got to be.
Let's say Texas secedes from the Union, which they have already.
Right.
Samuel Houston was the president, and then the federal government said, not so fast, and they said, you know what, you're probably right. We should probably rejoin.
Right.
South Carolina and Texas, the two states that seceded and then joined back immediately, I think that's because they were out on an island by themselves financially. How does Houston, Dallas...
That was before the Federal Reserve, too.
That's correct. So how does San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, how do the big Austin, how do those cities pay for anything? What is currency in Texas if the federal government doesn't honor or no longer distributes money through state banks in the state of Texas? I'm asking you seriously.
I know. I have no idea. I mean, look, I'm not the one that's...
It's your show. You didn't think this through?
No, because, I'm not the one seceding. I think it's an answer they should have.
All right.
But I should look that up because that could be an interesting point.
And it might, hey, you know what? You could put that in your bit.
The shoes, exactly. But this show's not about the succession of the possible. It is about a breakup, but it's sort of just saying that I see a breakup coming. It's not saying that I have the logistics of how it's going to break up.
The show is about the wonderful, beautiful spine that holds this country together.
The
and that
spine
is the
that holds us together, that everybody kind of loves, in spite of everything. People do love it, or people do really respect it and think it's a work of genius. I've never met anything that people like this much, Well,
it's a pretty important piece of paper, too. I don't think I'm wrong, but please tell me if I am. I think people say, like, in ancient Greece, sure. But I don't know if they did it with this much detail. It's the first time ever a country started as a country and actually made a rule book and said, this is the Constitution. This is how we run our business. And from here forth, this is how we will continue to run our business from this like, here's your playbook. Welcome to the Broncos. Here's your playbook.
Well, very well put. Very well put. Because Greece, actually the whole Constitution is based, of course, on Greece.
Right.
And then Rome, Cicero, and their ideas of what a republic should be. But first they had the republic, and Greece, people call it democracy, but it was a small percentage of people. Everybody else was a slave. So democracy wasn't really, this was a republic. Like all countries formed as a republic, not a democracy, which by I mean we're not based on just the rule of majority, we're based on the rule of law. So democracy is majority rules. Our society has a majority rules element, but it's really based on the rule of law. So we're a country of laws rather than just a country of popular vote.
So the Romans and the Greeks, did they write it down like we did, or because we did?
They
take
wrote
some
it
of their
after. Yeah, their philosophers wrote it as they were going along.
Yeah, and we were the first ones start to finish. Like, no, we have the entire playbook. We have a 2 minute. We even put in the 2 minute rule for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So Unconstitutional is on tour. Colin Quinn at I am Colin Quinn on Twitter. You are one of the greatest Twitter follows of all time. The way people, I like once when you said when Muammar Gaddafi died, you sent a tweet. You bait everybody and troll everybody better than anybody in the world. And the fact that people haven't caught on shows you how dumb people are in the United States. When
people say if I ever get murdered, follow the Twitter lead. They say follow the money, follow tweet. Follow
that's
the
fair.
tweets.
Colin Quinn, when you tweeted when Muammar Gaddafi died, you said, well, gang, I guess at the end of the day, we can all agree that Muammar Gaddafi was a very good man that just made a few bad choices.
Yeah.
And then somebody tweeted you back, why don't you kill yourself and move there then?
Yeah.
And I was like, first of all, the fact that you're responding to Colin's tweet, I know it because you retweeted it, and you want Colin to kill himself, and then post-mortem, as his body cools in a morgue, you want him to get his fucking living room wrapped in bubble wrap, and hire a moving company, get airplane tickets as a fucking corpse. Like, didn't even get the, like, when do you move there and then go kill yourself? No, they wanted you to kill yourself first and then get Starving Students Moving Company to get all your shit over to fucking Cairo or wherever the hell it was.
No, I'll make a double insult. Moish's moving company. It'll really hurt him.
Moish's.
Imagine he shows up in Libya.
If you guys could see Colin's face. We're going to be back in a minute. These sponsors help the podcast, so just hang in there. Right back.
Geico presents Fan Mail to a Pig.
Dear Maxwell, first off, I really enjoy your commercials about Geico's app. I watch them over and over and over. They make me both laugh and very hungry. Weird. Anyway, I just want to let you know how Geico's new claim status updates on the app really blow me away. Getting those updates makes me think of you. I'd like to thank you in person. Just send me your address. All the best, Big Bad W. Sure thing, Big Bad W. I got a pen. It's 802 Not Gonna Happen Lane.
Claim status updates just a tap away on the Geico app.
When shopping for car insurance, consider this. Geico has been saving people money on car insurance for over 75 years. So if you're serious about savings, it's simple. Go to geico.com. After 75 years, they know how to save you money.
So you think a show about the Middle East is really the same as doing a show about the Bible? The Old Testament, certainly.
Yes.
And New Testament, you got to work in the magic of Christ, of course.
I meant the Old
which
Testament.
These days would be a Las Vegas act. Let's be honest.
Yes.
If the second coming came, how long before he's up at the Luxor? Let's not kid each other. Like, hey, they would just get, look, you could help the flock, but, you know, let's break a little bread here first.
A lot of things buried out here, Jesus.
Yeah.
A lot of things buried out here, Jesus. You Jew motherfucker, you're going to tell me you came back to life so I can run business in a desert, you Jew motherfucker? A lot of things buried out here, Christ.
Over my head.
Look around, Christ.
You go to Herod behind my back. And
you mutter, you go to Herod.
Oh, shit.
Behind my back. I have a lot of interesting, I would love to see you do a show about the Bible because I love the stories. What happened, sweetheart?
He was just doing that.
Doing the Pesci's?
Yeah.
Me and Colin? Okay.
So you can still surprise her.
I can still surprise her. That's the thing. Love. The Bible, you want to do it. You don't want to do a show with the Bible. I'm really stunned.
Well,
at this.
no. I do. I mean,
I'm so confused about your future plans, Colin Quinn.
My future plans. Well, I mean, I would like to do a show about the Bible because I wasn't interested in the Bible until you put up the Middle East. I was like, the Middle East is such a microcosm of, of the whole situation. And I was like, oh, that's where the Bible does fit in. Like, the microcosm of these same conflicts in the same place since time began. It is kind of an interesting thing to really focus in and break it down so that you can look at any conflict you have with somebody that you don't get along with. You, Jay Mohr, you've never got along with that person. And that somehow embodies the Middle East and embodies the Bible.
Who's Christ in the everyday version of the Middle East Bible story of Colin Quinn?
We don't know yet,
It's Michael Bublé.
It could be Boobles.
I haven't met you yet.
Oh, he's the greatest.
Because, it's important stories. In the book of John, when Christ, says, I'm going to tear this temple down, I'm going to build it back up better and stronger in 3 days. He's calling his own shot, like Babe Ruth pointing out the home run shot. Christ calls his own shot about his own death. What I mean? That's an important thing that I see you making real hay with that. Like, I really need you to do this.
I still feel like that hasn't even been resolved. Exactly. That he knew this whole thing was happening. He knew exactly what was happening. And people would say, well, he sacrificed for us. But there's something much deeper in that statement than, than just someone giving their life for other people. So, plenty of people have given their life for other people.
Soldiers.
You talk about lone survivor. These guys literally, they're soldiers. Exactly. Soldiers go in there.
Mark Wahlberg is Christ.
Yes.
We solved it.
At some point, these guys actually do say to themselves, I'll die for you, and they mean it. And they do it all the time.
They do all the time.
And not just Navy SEALs, Marines, everybody, regular troops.
Absolutely.
In your experiences, going back and forth, because you're born and raised Catholic and Bible read, in your experiences, what percentage of people have the Bible stories completely just, they're like, when they quote the Bible to you, you're like, no, that's not really how it goes?
Like I said, I don't feel like people even talk, maybe because I've been in New York in this godless existence, but people don't even discuss the Bible. Do you understand? Like now the new fundamentalists, to me, are the atheists. They're the new moral majority, and then the new fundamentalists.
They just believe in the money.
And they just push. No, they believe in not believing in God with a vehemence that on Twitter, when I'll be on Twitter.
Wait, hold on a second. You're talking about the new evangelists.
And the evangelists, yes.
Christ evangelists.
No, the new evangelists are the atheists.
Oh, I got you.
I'm saying as far as the pushiness,
that's the big, yes,
the way they are, their personality.
I never understood if you believe in nothing, why is there a need to sell it?
Exactly. But
if you believe in nothing, what are you going door to door? What word are you? What are you spreading door to door if your belief is nothing?
Right.
There's nothing.
They just want you to. They're going, "Where's your Bible? Stop believing that." Yeah. But I'm just saying that. The thing is, I've seen more. I get more on Twitter speaking when I'm up there saying, "Hey, you know what? We all believe in different versions, but we all believe in God. That's the important thing." And then you get the reactions start coming in from atheists, and they're just fuming. I mean, you get so many that anytime you mention God, that's a real.
Anytime I've tweeted anything about atheist, the inbox is full.
Yes, they're very.
And these are very intelligent people, like Bill Mohr and Penn Jillette, two of the most intelligent people. Alan Havey, brilliant, brilliant man.
Yes, but
he'll sit right here and tell you and I that we're morons and we're idiots and we believe in a fairy tale. And I think somebody wrote back in defense when I was battling it out with like a guy from England, like a scholar in England, actually tweeted me and called me an idiot. Right. And then somebody said to one of the atheists, first of all, I'm insulted that you think my version of God is a 2-year-old version of a man with a big white beard in the sky.
Right.
Like that's like you think I have like a Santa Claus God because they always go, well, you believe in Santa Claus. Well, I see him in the mall all the time. He is real, first of all.
Yes.
I always had that as you. Biggest misconception I found is people always go, the Jews killed Christ, and that's not true. The Romans killed Christ.
The Guineas did, yeah.
The Guineas did. They fucking whacked him.
They whacked him.
And that's that. And that's that. It was payback for the Billy Bat shit. Real Guinea shit. Real greaseball shit.
He goes,
what happened? They fucking whacked him. De Niro's in a phone booth in Jerusalem just banging the fucking phone. Fucking Pilate. That fucking spineless motherfucker.
He's like,
the Romans killed Christ. The Jews just went, he's not wearing shoes. What are you going to do?
He's gone, and there's nothing we can do about it. But here's what happened.
And that's that.
What was that? They got to Mark or Luke in one of the books, and they just, got their names taken out of it. Somehow they didn't get the blame. You're right. I mean, the Jews set him up, and the Italians killed him.
The Italians, they whacked him. And then from all the way to JFK now. You think the mob whacked JFK?
Yeah.
How could that many people keep a secret for that long?
That's the only hard part to believe.
That's the part that I have such a hard... I don't think Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone, do you?
No.
Of course not. You don't have to shout. There's no reason.
I mean, because I'm waiting for this other information. Why do we have to wait this long for this information?
2038, I believe.
Oh,
you're not on... it's 2038 what?
I believe that's when they're going to release the information.
They're going to release all the redacted files in 2038. Billy Hayes says in 2038 we'll get the real answers.
Yeah.
So mob or military, it's a coin flop
mob
between
or
you
military
and I.
Or both, according to Oliver Stone. It was all of them and
That's impossible.
Johnson.
That's impossible that many people could keep a secret. That's impossible that the military and the mob could have kept it all together like that. The mob, we know, like Casa Nostra, we know the mob can keep a secret.
In those days, they could.
But in the military, it only takes like 3 guys, and then you just send them off to Vietnam with everybody else.
Yeah.
What does the mob gain from JFK dying?
I mean, just payback because he didn't,
because Bobby yelled at him in Senate,
and because they got him elected with the Chicago thing.
Yeah,
and because they helped.
His dad. Yeah, of course.
So I mean, they just like you didn't, you thought you could just walk away from us, and they just,
So basically, JFK. Even if it's the president of the United States, to the mob, you're just crazy Joe Gallo down at Umberto's Club House. They'll just whack you when you're sitting in a car.
Right, and I think it was also mostly because of Bobby Kennedy, right?
Bobby, you sit there like a little girl. He yelled at him in Senate on TV, right? Who was the mobster he was yelling at?
Jimmy Hoffa?
No, he wasn't yelling at Jimmy Hoffa.
Frank Costello?
He was yelling at Frank Costello. He called him a little girl. Oh. No, it was Giancana, dummy.
It was Momo?
Wasn't it Momo? He goes, you sit there like a little girl. He said it in the Senate on TV.
Oh.
And remember the big Senate hearings? And everybody says if the mob did it, it was payback for him yelling at. Of
course,
you don't yell at Momo
girl.
like that.
No, you don't talk to Momo like that.
And then Bobby, of course. Who shot Bobby?
That's the other question.
They think it really was Sirhan.
Yeah, what does Jimmy Carter say to that? Anyway, who's Jimmy Carter going to blame for that? Netanyahu? Anyway,
I believe it was Sadat.
I believe it was the Arabs that set him up.
I believe Sirhan came
He didn't
on
act
Sadat's.
alone. There's no way he acted alone. I don't believe Sirhan.
Well, let's ask Rosie Greer.
Oh.
Rosie Greer was there. He held his head.
Exactly.
That's the thing with Sirhan is there were so many people exactly right there on the premises, and they saw Sirhan, and Sirhan's family. First of all, how does somebody get like when you're in the cab and it says Muhammad, and there's a comma?
Yeah.
You're like, how does your name Colin? Like, this is my son Colin. This is my son Sirhan.
Like Duran.
I'll take what a shitty comics do at 1:30 at the Comedy Cellar for $500, Alex.
Let me ask you something. I believe his first name was Sirhan, folks. I don't believe his last name was Sirhan.
I think you may have that backwards. First of all, it's Mr. Sirhan.
I do wonder, like if because you know what the truth is, which everybody always says, if you don't want to believe, I don't want to believe that one idiot can change a nation's whole destiny, but I guess it could happen. I don't want to believe that Sirhan or Lee Harvey Oswald or these people just act alone and then you just change the whole country's destiny.
Yeah.
I just don't want to believe it.
Isn't it, like everybody always talks about, well, we're rounding third here, we'll wrap this up, but everybody always talks about the 60s as like this magical time and there was free love and the best music. And then you watch, like, literally, I hate to admit this, but like you watch Mad Men.
Right.
Which I think is the greatest show that ever was.
Show.
I hate to say it because I don't want to get whacked, but it might be better than the big one from HBO.
Sopranos?
I'm not going to say. Colin Quinn just said that out loud. I'm not going to go against the family on that one.
Not that better, but it's definitely
But
harder.
they didn't have to work in historical events into the storylines and show the JFK assassination live as Don Draper's mulling over a deal drinking scotch, and they do it brilliantly. But the 60s sucks.
I should have showed him shaking a baby's hand. I could have got a guess.
Colin's still getting residuals because the clip on Mad Men they're showing the motorcade is a little baby arm. JFK shaking Colin's baby arm. Hashtag baby arm, please. Colin Quinn, I am Colin Quinn. Hashtag baby arm. But JFK, MLK, and anybody whose last name ended in a K, really, they hated. That's what I found out. If you left Ted Knight, glad he made it out. But the thing is everybody in the 60s got assassinated, and everybody that got assassinated, they all had one thing in common: they wanted everybody to be peaceful and calm.
Right.
That's the one thread that all these guys that got murdered in the 60s had in common, and that like blows your mind. So then you got to take the military out of Martin Luther King, military and the mob. You got to take out of MLK. And then you got to take the mob out of maybe out of Bobby. I don't know. But I even said that like I was from Boston.
You got to take the mob out of Bobby.
The mob out of Bobby, yeah.
I think Bill Burr killed Bobby Kennedy.
I think.
Okay, Bill Burr. Okay, say they were Colin Quinn. Okay, huh?
Al Qaeda might have killed him.
Al Qaeda was up and running back then.
Sirhan.
I can't believe Colin Quinn shook hands with JFK. That is one of the greatest, nuttiest things I've ever heard in my life.
Good one, huh?
You are the kiss of death.
Yeah.
Who else shook? How long before I get whacked? I shook your hands.
Holy shit!
You shook his hand, and 3 years later, done.
I should have gave him a kiss, exactly.
You broke my heart, John.
Yeah.
You broke my heart. You broke my heart, John.
I was like, keep on swinging, Johnny.
Keep on swinging.
That's what James Coburn. I saw him on Dennis Miller when Dennis Miller had the show on HBO back in the 90s.
It was a great show.
And he's like, Jimmy Coburn. He's obsessed, of course, with a guy like that. Jimmy Coburn, making to me. And at the end, he goes, okay, and thank you so much. He goes, all right, keep on swinging, Dennis. And walked out. I was like,
keep on swinging?
What a Coburn thing to say. Keep on swinging, Dennis.
Except Coburn didn't mean punches. He meant key parties.
Yes.
Keep having couples over.
He did mean key parties and just cock swinging, He was like a madman.
Yeah.
One of those madmen guys.
He was those madmen.
When's Mad Men coming back on? Just whenever they're ready.
April, I believe.
Jesus.
You love the show?
Yeah, good show.
How long before Unconstitutional is going to be on HBO? Are they going to let you back
on? No, then I don't think they're going to do it.
Why?
I don't know.
Long story short, it was a huge success.
Yes.
You don't think you're going to go back into business with HBO?
No, I don't think HBO is going to go back into business with me.
Cocksuckers. I want them dead. Keep them here. Keep them here. Motherfucking
I'll do it myself.
Netflix, something like that. Epics.
I don't know. I feel like everything gets lost, though, nowadays. You know what I mean?
No.
One good thing about HBO is everybody sees it.
Right, but people, now it's appointment viewing. If people know they want to see it, they're going to go see your thing.
That's what I'm worried about, Jay.
This is what I want to ask you, and I never even got to ask you this. Remember Robert Wall did that thing on Showtime where he taught history comedically?
Yes.
And I thought he did a fantastic job. I can't think of anyone, and I'm meaning this in all sincerity, you and I have been friends a very long time.
I knew you first night at the Cellar almost. You were 17.
Yeah. I don't know anybody that would be better with children teaching them history in a way that would keep it fascinating than you. Did you ever think about doing something like that?
How old?
Not junior high before they
like baby arm size.
Baby arm age. No baby arm.
Junior high before they turn on you.
Yeah, right before they get ideas.
It looked like
right before they get ideas of their own. Like, what do you know?
Right.
Look, I just discovered jerking off. Why don't you take the Book of Job and shove it up your ass?
Well, if I didn't curse in my show, which I curse the whole show, just like long story short, I curse a lot.
Yeah.
We don't notice because we're comedians, but so you might, if you play that in junior high school, it might people might be a little offended by that.
Well, you could go live and re-record it. Seriously, and teach people the Constitution. You do clean it up. You do a lot of corporate gigs. You clean up your act, Colin. I'm just going to say.
No, I don't. And I don't do any corporate gigs. Every corporate gig I've ever done was a nightmare. But I mean,
okay, these are mostly bankers from Tampa. Everyone in the audience is a billionaire. Work G. And I notice you're not wearing a tie. We'll get you one.
You know what really disappointed me? New Year's Eve, I had a possibility of a great gig. And it was in Dubai or one of these places like that. And it was for the troops,
No wonder you want the country to fall apart. You're going to Dubai behind our backs.
No, it was for the troops.
Oh, okay. It
was for the Saudi Royal Police. No, it was for... But then they were like...
Billy says, who's troops?
Who's troops? Hey, they just said the troops, Billy. I don't ask questions.
They say the troops, I go.
It was like Mariah Carey. You want to pay me $1 billion to go to, Djibouti and work for a warlord? I'll do it. That's how we work.
Yeah.
Me, Mariah, Celine, whoever else does it.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was one of those gigs where from doing gigs, exactly where your limit is. I don't mind rolling the dice that I might kill or I might bomb. I don't mind that. But this was, they go, look, it's troops and their kids, New Year's Eve. I wanted to do this so badly. Fly at just a New Year's Eve gig, a great New Year's gig, good money. And they said, family friendly. And I just know when it's troops, there's no way even my Constitution show could be fitting for these people and their kids. I don't know who could do this gig, but I know it isn't me. You know what I mean? You had a bunch of kids sitting in the audience with their military parents, someone who just came back from Afghanistan, whatever. Who could do that show? I can't do that show.
Next time they call you, I want you to accept the gig, and I want you to just take the swear words out of unconstitutional, and I want you, for the first time in your life, to give a care.
I would have to say give a care. That's what, if I took the swear words out, every other statement, I'd be like, and believe me, they didn't give a care, ladies and gentlemen.
That's it. I am Colin Quinn on Twitter. One invite went out the entire New York trip, and it was you. Swear, am I lying, Matty boy?
No, not at all.
One invite. I am Colin Quinn on Twitter. And what's the website to figure out the unconstitutional dates?
The Tour Unconstitutional.com? No.
What do you mean, no?
Okay, yes.
TheTourUnconstitutional.com. And you do meet and greets after all your shows?
Always. Take pictures, everything.
That's the best. If you want to see me, it's jmohr.com. All my dates are up there. I love you, sweetheart.
Love you too, Jay.
Great to see you. Now let's all go get something to eat.
Hey!
Font gets smaller.
It does seem like it atrophies.
The Y starts to dangle. It can't hold it up at the end anymore.
It's brutal.
It's a big word for a dummy.
Brutal.
Then my website.
Brutal.
My website began to atrophy.
Remember, you know that line? Be brutal.
That's the guy who got kicked out of Black Eyed Peas. Atrophy? That was the rapper that didn't make it. You know my guy. Apathy. Yeah, it was a team. It was Apathy and Atrophy. They used to sing a duet. I'm withering away and I don't want to help you.
Let me tell you guys something. For a guaranteed short thing on Valentine's Day, send her a great gift. Think of what you get in return for a good Valentine's gift. Give and you shall receive.
Wow.
Giant freshly dipped strawberries from Sherry's Berries, starting at $19.99, over 40% savings, or double the berries for just $10 more. You need my code MOHR, M-O-H-R, when you order. Now, here's the thing, Colin. Return on investment. The more they hear the ad, they've already done it. They don't do it anymore. So if you've already ordered the berries, order more. Just enter my promo code MOHR when you do it, M-O-H-R. They could be dipped in white milk or chocolatey goodness, dark chocolatey goodness, topped with chocolate chips, decorative swizzle. You look like a decorative swizzle guy.
I have no idea what that would even look like.
Oh, they do like a little swizzle back and forth. Like when it's very fancy. 40% off from Sherry's Berries. Enormous, romantic, fresh, juicy, mouth-watering. Here's the only way to get this amazing Valentine's Day deal. Giant, freshly dipped strawberries. As Colin and I would say, strawberries.
Strawberries.
Starting at $19.99 or double the berries for just $10 more. Visit Berries, B-E-R-R-I-E-S, berries.com. Berries.com. Click on the microphone in the top right corner and type in M-O-H-R. Go to berries.com, click on the microphone, and type in M-O-H-R. Order today. They will guarantee on-time delivery or your money back. Colin Quinn, your show, Long Story Short, on HBO, I thought was fantastic.
Thank you.
I have not seen Unconstitutional yet. Is it the same type of setup?
It is the same type of setup. Luckily, Billy saw it. Of course, Matt is waiting to see Bad Grandpa. The unedited version. But listen,
ready for fast.
Exactly, it is doubt. You don't know.
The only thing that made me think he was guilty in the movie, of course, Meryl Streep was nominated as the nun in Doubt, and Philip Seymour Hoffman played the priest. When I saw it on Broadway, when he was right before the kids went out to play basketball, he goes, "Let me see those nails," and he gives them that long speech about how important it is to have nice short nails. And I thought, yeah, that's
but in fairness, if you were my age, you'd realize back in those days, people would check your nails for cleanliness. You know,
it's for the butt.
Nails were
It's for the
all
butt.
people talk about nails all the time in those days.
Matty thinks it's just right for the butt.
Just you don't want to cut anything.
Jesus, Matty, you really thought this through. It sounds like you've acted it through, to be honest.
I have a little bit, yeah.
Behind your ears and your nails. Were very
Why would they check behind your ears?
Because people used to have buildup up there. I remember as a little kid, it was almost like a wax behind your ears.
Oh my gosh!
Gross.
Catholic school wax behind the ears.
Catholic school wax.
Catholic
behind
school
your
wax.
ears.
Didn't happen in other parts. Never happened at shul. I'll tell you that. Folks, go to jmohr.com, click the Amazon banner. See Colin, they go to my website and they click the Amazon banner. They buy things, and then I get a kickback from Amazon, and all the money goes to my sons, both of my sons' college tuition. I don't take any of this money. This goes right into a direct account.
Nice.
Because every podcast has an Amazon link now, so you could use anybody's Amazon link. So, maybe Bobby Kelly wants to buy a new Vespa helmet. Great. Or you could put 2 kids through college using jmohr.com. Click the Amazon banner.
Beautiful.
Bobby in a Vespa helmet makes me happy.
Great.
This guy's from San Diego, where I'm going. Just booked it. Hey, Jay, I just got Taft-Hartley'd yesterday. Do you know what that means?
Oh, yeah, the labor law. Taft-Hartley.
In a movie called Spring. That doesn't make sense. I just got Taft-Hartley'd in a movie called Spring. All right. Super stoked. So today I'm still drunk.
Oh.
This
Well, what's he playing in this movie Spring? Can he give us a little more info on what the movie was and what's happening?
I'll email him back.
It could be a porno, or it could be like one of those, Judi Dench movies.
I will email him back, and we'll sit here and we'll wait.
Good. We'll find out if it's either gonna be like
Taft-Hartley yesterday in a movie,
and they hate themselves.
They hate themselves, and then they all wear their fancy hats. And at one point, Elaine Stritch goes, "Does anybody even wear hats?" And then she goes downstairs and drinks a bottle of witch hazel. Anyway,
but what the best part about it is too, is that I had to go to a screening of the Sondheim HBO. They did a special on it.
It's great.
I thought just the opposite. This was abominable.
Why?
I just thought it was boring. Like, they didn't pick the greatest songs. It was just, everything about it was just...
I thought it was only 6 songs. And they
you
know what? Because you don't like Sending the Clowns.
I thought it was ill-conceived. No, I do like Sending the Clowns.
I thought it was
But I prefer saying ill-conceived better. I really feel good. Dowager ill-conceived. Hi, gorgeous Nikki.
Television's own Colin Quinn, getting love from my beautiful bride right now.
Woo!
Thing going on the side. My son looks alarmingly like me.
He's got some. Who saw those mitts?
The big mitts on the baby.
He's
so
the greatest.
You weren't crazy about. I thought it was great.
I didn't.
Sometimes what was it called? 6 songs.
Let me just say why I love Jay Mohr, because you could talk about sport. You could talk sports with the best of the most biggest, sports meathead guy.
All right.
You'll sit here and we'll start doing Sondheim and you get right into it.
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
I don't know.
What am I supposed to do? Change the topic?
First of all, your impression of me is like...
It got worse. I will admit. It's not as good as it was, but I do like that you have a 5 o'clock shadow. But somebody should have told you that it's 5:15. We started a little late. Colin was downstairs trying to get tea bags off a Derringer. Instead, he picked a man who showed a Derringer and put it in his eye. All right. Let's just talk to each other like this. You look nice today. You look
really
very,
are.
You look like the priest in Doubt.
Oh, no.
Sweatshirt and a hoodie.
I look like what the real priest would look like today in Doubt. You're right.
You're just hanging out. Would you be the cool priest that could teach basketball and make sure the kids' nails are clipped? And
yeah. And then one day they're like, we never suspected.
Well, you don't know. It's never.
Well,
it's left ambiguous, that play, Doubt. It was a play before it was a movie. Are we gay?
Yeah. We're talking about Sondheim and Doubt, and we're defending... We drew on Sondheim and we're defending the priest in Doubt.
Well, yeah, it's Doubt.
Hey.
Put your name on it. Just put your name on it. That's all I say. Be a man or a woman. Put your name on it.
Well, I'd like to hear about it, potheads.
How the fuck you gonna know how to be great if you don't study greatness? Look at the game change.
Donuts.
If you want a battle, it's either that you will or you won't.
You're not a bad-looking man, Mr. Gals. But you are, Blanche. You are in that chair.
There's something wrong with us. Something very, very wrong with us.
Hey, man!
We were trying to get Joe DeRosa. He was a no-show, so we got the next best thing. Colin, what's your middle name, Colin?
Edward.
Colin Edward Quinn.
Yeah.
I think I asked you that last time we were here.
You too?
Colin Quinn. Billy Hayes watching the festivities. Matty Boy, of course, and the Wheels of Steel.
Yes, sir.
Colin is a little upset because there isn't tea for him in my hotel room in New York City. I'm sorry, there's no tea.
Well, we're in the St. Regis. I'm sure they have afternoon tea.
Now they're all going to be in the lobby waiting for us.
I get downstairs to the lobby. I get a tea bag in 5 minutes.
Well, you
from
know
some
what?
old dowager. I'll go down there. I'll get an old dowager. I'll charm the pants off her. And that's a horrible image, but I'll get the tea bag. And I'll probably get a scone, too, to boot.
What's a dowager?
Like an old rich lady.
A dowager?
Yeah, dowager. D-A-D-O. Anyway, an old dowager.
How do you know that word?
One of those old rich ladies that sits in the lobbies at this hotels like this and have afternoon tea.
Oh, like Elaine Stritch would sing about.
Yeah.
Here's to the ladies who lunch.
Does anybody still wear hats?
Wasn't that a great song? Even though it's really not a song that resonates for us, you can tell it was a great song that resonated.
It was, and no one knows what we're talking about, but you should because it's Sondheim, and even if you're like a meathead jock, you should know great songs, even if they come from musical theater.
Yeah.
Great song is a great song. Elaine Stritch made famous Sondheim song "Ladies Who Lunch," and it's
That's
about a
right.
bunch of old rich ladies that sit around, they eat lunch, and they talk shit about each other. Basically,
And I hate-
called Spring. Super stoked. So today I'm still drunk. That's the opening sentence.
Spring is either a semi-exploitation type teen comedy starring one of the fallen girls from I don't know, I got nothing. Or it's a Kate Blanchett Awakening movie.
Awakenings. There you have it. He's super stoked. His name is Vinnie Curran, by the way. Vinnie
Curran, Irish guy, yeah.
Today I'm still drunk. I just went to your website, clicked the Amazon button, and boom, all capitals for emphasis. I bought a snow machine, $206. We're having a snow party at the bar I work at in San Diego, Thrusters Lounge. I have a big list of things to buy, so why not go through you? Thank you, Jay Mohr, for your podcast. I'm a big fan. Put your name. Oh, he put your SAG on it. So maybe he did. Maybe it is a little union item,
Yeah.
like you said. Vinnie Curran or Vinnie Curran, Curran. Probably not Quran. Probably not the Holy Book.
Yes, the Taft Hartley. He's an extra in Lone Survivor 2. Vinnie Curran.
Lone
Anyway.
Survivor. He plays Taft Hartley in the original Lone Survivor. And that happened in Cuba, all right? Vinny Curran. Thank you very much, Vinny. I appreciate it. Going to San Diego to do a little stand-up. When
are you going there?
May 1st.
What is it, the American Comedy Club? What's it called?
I'm not even sure what it's called, to be honest with you, because it got booked a while ago, and tickets aren't even on sale yet. It's very hush-hush, you know?
QT, it's strictly on the...
Yeah, because I don't give a care, all right?
What about...
May 1st, May 2nd, May 3rd, I'm doing stand-up in San Diego, and I'm bringing the whole radio show down there with me, and tickets go on sale in February. So if you guys are so inclined, come see me do stand-up comedy, and all my dates, go to jmohr.com. If you want to know things about Colin Quinn, you have a website, don't you, sweetheart?
Nah, not really. They can look up the tour Unconstitutional, look for tour dates on there, but my website, I just ignored it years ago, and it just kind of atrophied.
Why?
Just because I just started getting into Twitter. I didn't want to go on Facebook anymore, so I just let that atrophy. I let the website atrophy. You know, I don't know.
Are you too big for the for the website? Let it atrophy? Does it actually wither? Does the